Judo channel. Welcome to another episode of Tatami Talk. My name's Juan. Give out your partner, Anthony. This is a Judo podcast for Judo players by two Judo players. So, Anthony, how you doing?
Not good. I think I'm losing track of time, basically.
Yeah.
As you know, I was supposedly going to get surgery, but then I think it was right after I recorded the last episode of the podcast, I got diagnosed with shingles. So I was like itching my ass off, literally.
Literally.
But then I've talked to my doctor and I found out apparently I can't have knee surgery while I have shingles. So they might postpone the surgery. I'll find out this Wednesday.
He's gonna have surgery for Christmas now. Watch.
And I hope it doesn't happen because I'm planning to go to Japan in April, so this shifts all my recovery and my traveling planning aside. But I've been really busy. I have a lot of visitors in town, a lot of family stuff. I think that's actually why I got shingles, because shingles can be stress induced.
I thought shingles was stress induced.
I think I didn't know you can be you can get shingles if you don't have never had chickenpox before. That's what I was told.
We're getting a lot of comments on that one, I bet.
I know, but I was told you can't get shingles if you never had chickenpox. All this time, people were like, "Oh, you never had chickenpox? You're not gonna get shingles." But now here I am, right? And then the doctor was like, "Oh, you'll get it, but it's not as pronounced," which is probably why I can walk around and teach and all that stuff, because it's not as serious as because people told me it's super, super painful. And I mean, it was painful, but it's not debilitating for me.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. I can walk, I can't do judo. I remember when you threw me on my butt.
Yeah, that was an accident. I was trying to throw you not on that side.
Yeah.
And then I was waiting for a throw, thinking like, oh yeah, no, wrong.
Yeah, I can take a couple of them. I don't know if I can take like a lot of 10 or 15 of them, but yeah, it's getting better. Hopefully it clears up in time for the surgery. But I need to get approved from the doctor. Plus on that same day I have the interview. So just really bad timing.
Yeah, it happened.
Really bad time.
Watch. He's gonna move to December.
Oh, God. I don't even know if they do surgeries in December.
I got mine in December.
But
I had my shoulder surgery. I got it in December.
I'm also trying to hide the fact that I'm getting surgery for my mom. So I told my mom I'll be on a work training trip.
Mom, I got changed.
Oh, I got changed to Christmas. That's not going to work. I'm just going to have to say, I'm going to spend time with friends.
So I just got back from doing a crazy 48-hour trip back to the Bay. I had a friend of mine got married this past weekend. Maybe last weekend when this video comes out. So I did a crazy 40-hour trip. I drove up in the morning, got there in about like 4.5, 5 hours, got to the Bay, hung out for a little while, saw like a bunch of new stores, new stuff out there. My friend got married in Saratoga at night. Well, it started off kind of at night. Okay.
Is Saratoga in California?
Yes.
Because I know Saratoga, Florida. I didn't know
there's Saratoga. We also have Ontario, California as well. You know, there's a Hollywood, Florida.
I know that because I went to the Hard Rock Casino there for someone's birthday once.
So yeah, so I went to my friend's wedding out there. It got really cold at night, like so cold that you could see in your breath. When I left, it was like 56 degrees out or something when I left. And the road is so dark. Like going up in the morning, in the afternoon, I knew it was gonna be like crazy coming back because there's no lights, windy road. I thought it was an initial D. I thought because I did the dumbest thing. I turned my lights off for a second. It was like dark, black, and I was like, "This is stupid one." Put your lights on. But I was out there for 48 hours. I wanted to go train judo, but there was like no Sunday judo places really.
We're the only ones, I guess.
And there's a few Sunday places, but they're like really far away and they're like kind of weird hours. And my hotel was weird hours too. Like my hotel was like get to check in at 3, be out by 11. And I was like, if I get extended my stay, but I drove over here because I wanted to go to this place in I wanted to go to the place in Santa Clara that was closer to me, but they didn't have a Sunday thing. Like it was just kind of weird. But I didn't get to do any judo out there. Saw my cousins hang out and all that when I was out there. But yeah, did a really fun trip. Got back to LA around 9 p.m. because I left the Bay around maybe 2:30 or so. Stopped a few times, some truck stops. Very crowded. But some of those crowded truck stops I've been in my life. The one thing I like about truck stops is that usually they're kind of not so, well, the ones I stop at are not so full. But these are like really crowded today. So I was like, what's Sunday? People on trips and shit? What's this bull BS, man? So that's it, you know. Like, that was our weekend and stuff. That's his stuff. That was my stuff. We're getting ready to go to Winter Nationals. We're trying to get our dojo ready. We have like 13 categories. How many people do we have so far?
I didn't count. I just signed up 2 people. Like honestly, I've been so busy. I literally had to do it. I said I would do it at home, but I didn't have time. So I was at the dojo. I went in the office and just registered 2 people.
So I'm coming out of not coming out of retirement, coming out of forced retirement, I guess you say.
Yeah.
But I'm going to compete at Winter Nationals this year. My first tournament back in almost 2 years. See how the shoulder holds up. So we have I know we had at least 13 categories. You signed up 2 more people, so that's at least 13, 14, 15 more categories right there and stuff.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in the LA area, okay, come to Winter Nationals. It is a great tournament. It's going to be at the LA Convention Center. I know we're kind of boosting this a lot because maybe because they're Southern California guys.
We're not getting paid.
Yeah, we don't get paid for it, okay? Like we always say, we do this for the love of the game, all right?
Yeah.
It's a great tournament.
Well, we are promoting because we're from LA, represent.
Represent. If we're in New York, we're represent New York Open or something,
Yeah.
But we're from the LA. So, it's going to be here in Southern California at the Convention Center, the same location that they're going to have the Olympics at.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is another dry run of okay, well, this is what happened in Golden State.
Yeah.
What can we improve? Let's see what we do this time. Maybe get better lights for Anthony since he complained about him last time.
Yeah, this year it's not a USA Judo point event. It's going to be sanctioned through USJF this year.
Any federation.
But any federation.
USJ Judo, USJF, and USJF.
Yeah. If you want to know why, you can DM me and ask. I know why, but we're not going to talk about it.
And then this weekend is the Mojica tournament.
Yes.
That we have one person going to.
Yeah.
Only one. No one else signed up for it because everybody's focusing on Winter Nationals. And you're going to be coaching this person.
Yeah, this is my friend. Yeah. So
this is going to be his first judo tournament, right?
Well, he did the in-houses before.
Yeah, but it's in-house is different.
Yeah.
In-house is super friendly, okay?
Yeah.
Going to a real tournament's 100%.
I agree, but he competes in jiu-jitsu regularly, but it's no-gi, and it's just really interesting to see how no-gi and gi doesn't I personally suck at no-gi, right? It doesn't transfer over that as much as we thought.
Well, as much as you think.
Yeah.
I did great at no-gi.
Well, you wrestle, that's different.
Oh, that's because I wrestle most of my life.
Well, I guess for me, it's no-gi ground game, but I think I do pretty okay in stand-up. Just ground game is hard. But yeah, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But he's mainly training jiu-jitsu, so he doesn't come to practice often. So
are you nervous about him getting Shidos or anything?
No. I just don't want him to get hurt. Yeah, I think he'll do fine. It's just, again, I just don't want people to get hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, good luck on that one, okay?
Yeah.
Since you listen to us, all right? I'm not mentioning your name. Those are kind of the big things that are happening right now. Just the Golden State Open. Any other judo news that just happened?
No. I know during the 6 months ago now, we talked about the new rules will come out the World Championships. That's what Daniel, whatever his name is, said. But we didn't know if he probably didn't mean the Senior World Championships because we had the junior and the cadets that happened, and now the only one left is the Veterans World Championship in Paris. And
so maybe after the veterans we'll get the new rules.
I think after the veterans we'll get the new rules. That's worth it.
All the World Championships has happened.
Yeah, so that'll be in time. So it'll be probably January. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully that happens.
And these will be the rules that are hopefully nailed down for the Olympics in LA.
Yeah. So yeah, hope that it'll probably be set in stone because this will be the first. The first change is the most the one we had with the Yuko and everything. That's the one that has the biggest changes, right? And then this is their last chance to make any other, not as big, but big adjustments. And then after this next rule change, supposedly, then it's just minor changes like grip fighting, that kind of stuff, small minor changes. Maybe the definition of Yuko again. Yeah. But
you sent me a video this afternoon about stuff.
Yeah, it's just so stupid. I don't think people watch enough matches. If they think the current Yuko standard is okay, I think they're just not watching enough matches to see how many Yuko calls they get wrong or how unclear it is. So they have to do something about that.
Well, you know the answer is going to be AI refs.
No, please no. Please no. No. Might as well though. With the way they're calling it right now. With the way they're calling it right now, might as well have AI refs. But yeah, so looking forward to the rule changes, not because we have nothing else to talk about, but those episodes are less, I don't have to do as much prep work usually. I still have to do prep work because I have to go through the referee, like what we did for the previous one. I went through the whole thing and cut out clips.
Yeah.
But
great work, by the way, on that.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that got a lot of positive feedback. But
great tournament also to come out to. Again, in Southern California, Fight for the Cure. Great tournament for the ladies, all right?
Yeah, but when we talk about like more technical topics, that's like I have to prep a lot more. Not just I know the stuff in my head, but it's like how do I present it, and then how do I present it so people understand. So that takes a lot of work. But yeah. So hopefully the rule changes come out, and I think that's all the judo news in the area.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the people there. I noticed a lot of people are going to Paris to compete in the Veterans World Championship. So good luck out there. Again, don't get injured, right?
Be safe.
Yeah, be safe. And yeah.
All right. So today's main topic is defensive judo.
Well, specifically counter judo.
To me,
Playing
counter judo is defensive judo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But let's just talk about it. So counter judo, all right? So
Yeah.
Anthony, what do you think about counter judo, like counter fighters?
Yeah, I'm speaking it from like a recreational and also beginner point of view. Is like that's a pitfall trap I think that a lot of people fall into, and I don't want to shit on. We're not shitting on jiu-jitsu, but we see this a lot in jiu-jitsu people that come in. It's that they play counter judo, and they win a lot of novice tournaments on it because they win a lot of novice tournaments that way.
Well, you don't just see BJJ guys do it. You see a lot of wrestler guys do it also, especially if you come from a geiko background.
Yeah.
They see someone coming with a bad throw, and guess what? Uranagi immediately.
Or Tatami Talk, right?
Tatami Talk,
Yeah. I mean, the guy, I was an orange belt when I hurt my leg to Tatami Talk, and I was a BJJ black belt that just played counter judo and sat into my knee, right? So injury aside, let's not talk about injury because counters is also one of the common scenarios where injuries occur. Counters, because your body gets entangled, you're off balance, you can't really move away, you get trapped. But we're not going to talk about injury, but mostly the pitfall of like getting, I guess, addicted to that. Because really quick, you're going to hit not really quick, but after you get brown, let's just say like brown belt level, you can go to compete at brown belt. When people can actually throw you with a turn throw now, or if they don't do turn throws, they do also Kakari or something like that, then all of a sudden those Uranages, Tani and Toshis, they don't work as well. But by that point, how long have you spent doing that?
I'm just going to say, I think that sometimes, not sorry, I just think that there's like a wave. Because sometimes when you're beginning, when you first start off, you see counter judo work a lot better when you're actually trying real judo, trying Uchimata, Taitoshi, and stuff like that, or big Ipponsanagis. You see countering that person with Uranage or Tanya Toshi or just a foot sweep or something or a hip block. You see that work for you really well. But then when you get to your like brown or black belts, it stops working for you, so you have to learn better judo.
Yeah.
But then you get older, and you can't do those big throws no more sometimes because your body's breaking down onto you. So then you start doing counter judo again.
Well, I think
it works for you.
I'm not saying don't do counter judo. I think counter judo is a really important skill. Like, won't say which tournament, but in one of the recent tournaments, I coached someone, and they were fighting. It was double elimination, right? So they fought the same person twice, and I've never coached this person before. I don't know what their judo is like. So first match, I was just like watching and giving them like fight for an inside position, get off that hand, don't circle that side. So I said that kind of stuff, and then they got thrown really quick. And then I asked them, I was like, "How did it feel?" She's better than me. She's stronger than me. And then I'm like, "Okay, so do you think you can beat them?" And they're like, "No." Clearly there's this, and I know this, right? But I want them to understand it, right? So I was like, there's clearly a big skill gap between these two players because she's only been training for less than a year, I think, and the other person's like close to a brown belt. And that's how novice tournaments are. So I'm like, okay, so this is what you do when you fight someone in a tournament that's better than you. You play counter judo. That's exactly what I said. I was like, you're not going to learn anything. You're not going to get, you're not going to learn as much. Let's just say that. You're not going to learn as much, and you're just hoping she makes a mistake that you can capitalize on, and you're minimizing the mistakes that you do. And she still lost, but she got really close to throwing her with the ogoshi, but they were off the edge of the mat, and the ref stopped them. So she might have won that match if there was more safety area space.
More safety,
Yeah.
Because technically, if they're in an attack, they're supposed to be able to continue.
Yeah. So I just told her, keep the inside position. Don't let her go to your outside. So keep facing her, and then like wait for her to come in for a turn throw. Because if you turn throw from the outside, there's a higher chance of you messing up than from the inside. So that's how she almost countered her with a ogoshi. But then ultimately, the girl was just better, did a drop throw and got thrown, right? Because if you drop, then you go under. And yeah, so there is a spot for counter judo, I think, in that sense. But that's what you want to do at a tournament, but that's not what you're going to do in training. If you
train, you want to train your big throw.
This will be a future topic, but I already wrote the Substack post for it, is the learning environment versus performance environment. We talked about it in the past, but there's a whole Substack post about it. So you don't want to pretend it's a performance during learning, right? And that's a huge pitfall that people fall into, is that they don't want to make mistakes. They don't want to get countered. They don't want to fall or whatever. Then you might get better. There's people, the outliers, we talk about survivorship bias, right? There are people who get better no matter what, or they'll counter their way up to black belt too, right? Especially if you live in a small town, right?
The same throws, the same.
If you live in a small town and you're like the best person there, then you can counter your way up there, right? But I think for this area where we're at, it'll only take you so far. And I personally have seen certain people hit a wall there. And some of them start realizing it and start adjusting to it, but it's like you're already brown belt, you know, like like you could have like invest in loss like earlier. You hear other podcasts talk about this, invest in loss. This is basically part of it. So counter judo is something that you really, really want to. It's hard because it's like we said, we're not saying don't do it, but also don't totally rely on it, right?
Well, it's funny because I come from the point where it's kind of weird. When I first started doing judo, I was practicing a lot of big throws. That was my thing. I did like big throws, taitoshi, haraigoshi and stuff, big throw all the time. But then when I hurt my knee, when I hurt my good knee, which was my good knee at the point, at that time, when I hurt my good knee, I couldn't do certain big throws, or I was scared to put people's weight on it or one-legged weight. And instead of doing like uchimata or certain throws like that where I could use my new bad knee to like do throws, I started doing counter, a lot more counters, waiting for a person to attack and counter them. That's how I got good at so many Yoko Toshis or I can't remember the names of all this stuff. But I got really good at doing like very low sweeps. Like some people say that, oh, Juan's doing old man judo now. It's like, but
you're old.
I had to fight like, I have a lot of miles on me.
I'm old too because I have shingles.
It was like I had to fight to what my body could do, you know?
Yeah.
And I just got really good at doing very low down. Like it's funny because people like I'm not super tall. I'm 5'11", just under 6 feet and stuff. Legit. Okay, I'm not these guys that's the thing that people are doing on set now. They're like 5'5" or 5'7", saying they're like 5'11" or something. Like, why don't you say you're 6 feet? Because I'm not. I don't lie.
See, I don't think old man judo is counter judo.
Yeah.
I just think because when you're older, you lose muscle, you're slower, you're not as strong. So now you need to rely on your body weight more.
Yeah.
And the throws, the sacrifice throws that use the body weight just happen to be also used in countering.
Yeah.
I think that's they end up at the same point. It's just the way you get there is different. I think that's because you're slower, you're not as strong. That's why you go there. It's not because you could say you can't use counter judo too when you capitalize on a mistake.
Yeah. So I kind of sent myself like for a while. And I'm kind of like it's funny. So I hurt myself. I kind of got into a little bit of a counter judo, in my opinion, counter judo style, and then I kind of grew out of it again to go back to my big throws because I felt strong again. Like I felt strong. I felt good and stuff. But then again, I kind of hurt myself. I kind of just go to this thing. I get hurt. I start using my counter judo again. I feel better. Start going for my big throws again. Get hurt. Something happens. Start going back to doing counters and stuff. Or just during certain rounds, like we talk about learning and stuff. Yeah. During rounds, like there's, I'll go get someone that's really stronger or there's someone that's younger and move a lot. Like, man, I don't want to try to do like my setups or a lot of shakes or snap twists and downs. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait to counter them. I'm gonna wait for them to make a mistake. I'm gonna sweep them. I'm gonna hit them. I'm gonna do something to counter them. You know? And it's kind of funny because it's not that counter judo is a bad thing. It gets kind of a bad rap from people. Like, oh, you can't do real judo. You can't do stuff. But
we do hear that. You do hear that a lot. I don't think it's true, but we do hear people say that.
I don't think it's that bad. But to me, it depends on depends on the fighter. You know, it depends on what they're doing. Yeah. There's a story about I can't remember the guy's name, but the same year that Ishii got the gold medal, you know, the Olympics gold medal in was it China? He got his gold medal in.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so I think Ishii got his gold medal in China.
Beijing. Yeah.
Beijing, China. Big thing because Ishii had big throws.
Yeah.
He had huge throws, was destroying everybody. One of the best Japanese judo players of all time at that point, right there. There was another judo player. I think he was 100 kilos or 90. I want to say he was minus 100, maybe even 90 kilos. But he was a counter judo fighter. Okay, got
Oh,
silver.
you can counter your way to the Olympics apparently.
Exactly. But everyone's like, he had this stigma just being a counter fighter
Yeah.
and stuff. He doesn't have very beautiful big judo and stuff.
Yeah.
But he got silver. I want to say he got silver. He might have got gold now. I think about it, but I believe it was silver. And Japan was just like, oh yeah, good. He got silver. But Ishii got big throws. He got gold.
Yeah.
Right? He's amazing. Blah blah blah. And that kind of followed both of them because they both went to MMA for a while.
I also don't think, like, using that example, I haven't watched the match, but I don't think you can counter your way into silver without actually being good. You'd have to have some sort of other skill sets to fight off. Like, you can't just wait for an attack, otherwise you're going to Shido out,
At that
right?
level, you have to know how to defend.
You have to do something to make it look like you're not passive at the very least, right? Because that's another thing that can happen is if you just counter, but every single time you're off balance when you throw and you can't counter, then eventually you're gonna get passivity Shidos and Shido out. So you can't just Shido counter your way there.
So I know some people, like you said, there's this big thing about like, he's just a counter fighter, he's an attack on his own. And there's things where like you see them practice big throw, big throw, but then when they go to fight, they do little throws, smaller throws, lower throws. They get like, it's just a counter person.
Yeah.
And somebody just got to fight smart, you know? And yes, you should practice your big throws and try to get big stuff. But like when you get older, you have to start listening to your body.
Yeah.
You know? My knees sometimes can't be doing uchimata or tai haraigoshi to a guy that's 100 plus, you know? Not 100 pounds, but 100K plus, 100 kilos plus kind of guy, you know?
Yeah.
Am I going to be doing haraigoshi? You guys don't know, but am I going to do haraigoshi to Big Juan?
Yeah.
No. Big Juan, I'm doing ashiwazas or drops no nagi or something, you know?
It has to be a good balance, right? Like in my beginners class, I don't allow counters at all in any shape or form. One, because of safety, we already talked about. But two, if I just keep countering you every time, like every time you come in, you're trying to get good at ogoshi. Let's just say every time you come in for ogoshi, I just counter you.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're just gonna stop doing ogoshi and randori, right?
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want you to keep practicing ogoshi to the point where I can't counter you. So some alternative options that I use for kids and adults is when they come in, you can pick them up and put them back down. Like if you just come in straight up without any kuzushi or off balancing, then they're gonna pick you up. Then you already know, oh, he could have uranagi the shit out of me, right? So I then put them down. That's better than Tani Otoshi. And as of lately, I just started teaching the intermediate class. This week will be the 4th class that I held. I allow counters, but no Tani Otoshi. So you can now throw someone with uranage. And also, instead of Tani Otoshi, I was like, why don't you try Kosotogari or Kosotogake or Nidan Kosotogari or Utsurigoshi or Shirogoshi, like all the lift up. And then I show them one where you lift them up and then you sweep the legs.
Yeah.
And that's what, number one, that's safer than Tani Otoshi. And number two, that also develops a foot sweep timing skill with those options that I gave. So now you're not just like blocking the leg and dragging your weight down. Now you're also learning foot sweep timing. So it's like a win-win for both people. So
you're forcing them to grow. You know? You're forcing them to grow and try stuff out. Where there was one time, a long, long time ago, we had a guy here, really nice guy, but he was a wrestler, you know? And all he would do would be counter wrestling moves. He would uranagi people, Tani Otoshi people all the time. And I could see it after a while in his head. He was just like, you know, I'm not learning anything with judo. Judo's not working.
Well,
these guys are beating.
I think I know who you're talking about. He told me judo is easy.
No, I don't think
it might be a different guy wrestler I'm thinking of.
But I think it's a big thing with wrestlers anyway, that they feel that way when they first start doing judo.
Yeah.
They can just manhandle people.
Novice, other adults that just started when they were 30s.
Yeah, other adult novice people, they think you just manhandle them. And I kind of feel bad for guys like that, guys or girls like that, just think, oh, judo's like, my wrestling beats judo, judo sucks. And it's like, I feel bad because you're not learning judo, you know? There's an efficiency thing with judo. It's like, I grew up wrestling, and I know what wrestling is. It is strength, power, and just fighting for it, okay? Where judo's kind of like the opposite thing. Strength and power helps, but it's all about technique and flowing and going into it with somebody and throwing it with like very minimum effort, you know?
Yeah, that's a balance that I think needs to be had, because if you don't, just like in the beginners, if you don't allow counters at all, then now you don't know when your throw would have worked or not. right? So, or whether it's important to know when you get countered. So you just gotta make the counter not. You don't want to make the counter so dangerous and demoralizing that happens all the time, where they stop trying turn throws, which is what we see a lot. Like people eventually stop doing turn throws and they start doing drop throws. Because why do people spam drop throws? Because you can't get countered. Well, no, you can't. It's hard to get countered.
When you get choked out, maybe you mess up.
Yeah, but it's hard to get countered by a tiny. You can't counter with a tiny Toshi really. If I spam drop Sanage, I drop and then you can't counter me. Randori would just stand back up. If it's tournament, I turtle. Yeah. So that's why a lot of people, I feel like, get funneled into doing drop Sanage instead of standing Sanage because of the counters, I think. And also the effectiveness of drop, because you drag the body weight down.
Well, once you get older, you start doing drop Sanage because then my knees can't take it. And to me, sometimes, like, I'll practice with you sometimes when you're tall, but I don't want to hurt somebody. Like, I don't want to hit their head on the back of my head or drop them on their head and stuff. So kind of why I don't do it. But I will admit, I will pull it off at tournaments every now and then if I need to.
Yeah. Do you have anything you do in your classes that's to deal with people who do that, counter judo?
Well, I don't. Well, in my class, I force people to use the technique I taught of the day. Yeah. And sometimes I'll teach a counter to a throw to make people like either go for the throw fully.
So situational sparring.
Or kind of, yeah. I do a lot of situational. I do a lot of situational sparring in my class anyway. I don't call it that, but I call it, I force you to work in technique you learn and stuff. Like the other day, I had him do kosotogake. It was kosotogake, and I worked on that the entire time. And I said, but don't fall in love with this throw. It's a great throw and stuff. It's a fantastic throw when done properly. No can defend. But if you mess up, it was uchimata all day.
Yeah.
All right. And I showed him we worked on 20 minutes kosotogake, and then I worked on maybe 5 minutes on uchimata counter. And I said, okay, so now we're gonna do some yakusoku geiko moving around. One person attack this, the other person counter. If they do not do a good throw to you, I want you to counter them.
Yeah.
So I am teaching a little counter right there, but I'm wanting to force them to do a good throw the first time.
Yeah, so I already talked about what I do in my class, right? But that's because I only have a class full of beginners or a class full of intermediate people, and some of the intermediate people, they don't know the safety stuff that I want them to know. So I'm careful about that. But in judo training, yakusoku geiko, right? In sumo wrestling, there's something called butsuri geiko, which is like you just push, the pushing drill that I do.
Yeah.
But
when they look cool, they just do like this right here. Like it pushes them across.
That's explosive drilling, right? But there's also something that a lot of people don't know called Kakari geiko. I think it was Kakari. Don't quote me on it. But it's the way it works is it's usually a more senior belt goes with a more novice person, and the novice person just attacks nonstop, and the senior person just defends. And in some cases, they counter. I think that can be useful if you have like a black belt and a yellow belt or something, like someone more experienced that knows how to do the counters properly without hurting the beginner. Then that way you're maximizing the attacks. Because if you go back to the survivorship bias episode, I talked about how like the Japanese do a shit ton of randori, right? So as for us who don't do as much randori here, who have full-time jobs and all that kind of stuff and started later, we need to maximize the quality of our randori and the rounds that we have between. We need to spend less time stiff arming, bent over, spend less time doing shitty tani utoshis and shitty counters and just waiting for opportunities. Because the mindset's also important. Yeah, so this Kakari Gecko is, if you have a class where you can pair up, like, you don't have like us, like beginners, intermediate, advanced, you have one big class, and then you end up with a black belt going with like a white belt. This is really useful. And we already kind of see that, right? When in mixed classes in the past and in other dojos, you have the black belt that lets the beginner work and just like when they get them good, they fall, but otherwise they just like hip out, hop over.
There's something that Sensei Moss used to do with me back when I was like a white belt or something. He would be, and I learned this from him, and I still do it now. It's like, I know I can counter you if I wanted to, but if you come in with a good technique, I'm gonna let you throw me.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't have to always be like establish dominance, counter. Don't let no one beat you and stuff. If a underbelt gets a good throw onto you, fall for it sometimes. Yeah. We're getting off topic now about it, but I do think that's something higher belts should get in the mindset of sometimes. It's helping teach. Yeah. Not a younger person, could be younger, could be older, but a lesser belt rank thing.
Yeah, but I definitely think at the more novice and intermediate levels, you need to really foster a culture of not being afraid of getting countered in training, unless you're specifically training to not get countered.
Yeah.
But you need to foster them to not, because while you're learning, if you're afraid of getting countered, you're thinking of that. Oh, what if I get countered? Then you're gonna half-ass your turn throws, right?
Yeah.
We see this. People are like, they kind of turn halfway, or they already start halfway turned in, and they get foot swept, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if they're not just for coaches, but if coaches see this happening, and they can see like the person's a little afraid of getting attacked or countered, or if you catch yourself kind of like, oh, what if I get countered, and you're hesitating, then you probably need to change the mindset. I don't know what you can do if your coach doesn't say no counters, but that's something you should probably be careful of. It could be holding you back, right? If you keep half-assing your turn throws.
That's a big thing we see between white belts growing, or citrus belts growing, is that they are scared of getting countered. They don't want to get thrown by somebody. So they want to, like, you got two people trying to counter fight almost. You know?
Yeah.
One person only wants to go in halfway because they want them to.
Then they start faking each other.
Yeah. So one person's going to halfway, so the other person will attack so they can counter with something. The other person doesn't want to go to the other person goes so they can counter that person and then counter that counter. It's like, no, you got to be like, there's nothing wrong being a counter fighter, but you have to commit to your throw. You say it all the time.
Yeah.
Players.
And also I personally think from a competitive standpoint, if you're thinking of counters, and back to my example, if you're thinking of counters first, then you're already lost in a sense mentally, right? You already admitted that the other person's better than you because I can't throw them unless I counter them, right? So you kind of, in a mental scheme of things, you're kind of lost, and you're saying, I'm just hoping the other guy makes a mistake so I can win. I think that's not the right mentality to go by if you want to get good. But not going to cover everything about this survivorship episode we did, but a lot of this other stuff I want to go deeper into future episodes on other topics, because they all interleaved with each other and for coaching and stuff. But countering has its place, but I just think most people I've seen let it take up a majority of their judo mindset and development, which is not ideal, I guess. Yeah. So
it's a slippery slope, I'll say. Because like I said, like, some people call me a counter fighter sometimes. I don't think I'm a counter fighter. I'm just a lazy fighter sometimes. I'll be admitted. Especially in practice, like, oh, why don't you use counter? Like, yeah, because I'm tired right now.
Yeah.
I'm lazy right now. But at tournaments, I attack a lot. Or at least I used to. We'll see what this next tournament what happens. What kind of fight I turn into.
So do you have any suggestions for people that do think, like, they're like listening to this and they're like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm countering fighter. What do you have any suggestions for them?
Well, my thing is like,
or I get countered, or the other way around.
One, if you might be scared that I'm turning into a counter fighter, then you need to get out your box. All right? You need to figure out if, like I said, you have injuries, you get older, you're losing muscle, you're not as fast as you used to be. You need to figure out, what can I still do? I used to do a great Taitoshi standing. Okay, I had to modify it. I do a different version of Taitoshi now. Okay. I messed up my arm, so I can't fight right fully strength anymore.
Censoring for international stuff.
I don't care, whatever. No, I don't. Come at me. I don't care. All right. Know my stuff. Okay. So some of you have to change. I do more of a left side fight, more of a right side fight. Do this right side. Do this left side. So you got to get out of your box. Like, I want these big throws. There's nothing wrong with being a counter fighter. Okay. There's nothing wrong with having that as set up as something else. But you got to get out your box sometimes. You got to get out of there and just be like, I'm going to try stuff at practice. If I lose during practice, it's okay. If a blue belt throws me because I have a plan to do something else to them, let them throw me, But I'm also a guy that I have no ego. I might hear from people later, Juan, that guy threw you today.
I heard it. It's funny you said that because, I hate knee wrestling, right? I know. So I usually when we do Newaza Rando, I usually put myself in a losing position. Yeah. And to get out of pins or escape arm locks or something.
In a bad position.
Yeah, and the other day I was talking to someone, I'm not going to say who, someone about something, and then they're like, oh yeah, you suck at Newaza. I kick your ass all the time. I'm just like, just don't say anything. It's just going to make things worse is what I was thought. But that's the ego part you got to be able to let go of to get better. Because I will say this, I used to think my Newaza can still use improvement, but if I kept that mindset, I think I would have not been where I am now, which I think is half decent. Like, my Newaza is actually half decent. So
and if you're somebody that's thinking about like working more counters, there's nothing wrong with working counters, but try to set up your counter. All right, set up that you want them to like give your leg a little bit to the person. Well, I'm not telling you exactly.
Counter the counter.
Yeah, they counter the counter. You give your leg to somebody so that they do something so that you can counter that. Okay. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with doing Yoko Otoshi. Okay, it's a beautiful throw. I do all the time, but it's considered an old man throw nowadays. You know.
So is that all you have?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to address the safety aspect of it, but I was like, I had a shower thought about this and I discussed with Aaron about this, but it's because I started noticing in my beginners class, because I don't allow counters, and also I teach grip fighting in my beginners class, so I tell them to always fight for most of the time fight for the inside space, and I start noticing when I do allow counters, it's easier to counter from the outside. So if I win inside, but I don't utilize the inside space to break your posture, balance, alignment, or anything, and to attack, then now you have this lane on the outside is free for you to do Tani Itoshi, Uranage, all that stuff, right? So if my suggestion, which is untested, is just a shower thought, I'm going to test it throughout the classes.
Theory.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. This is something I'll be testing in the coming classes, but if you fight for inside position, if you are fighting someone who keeps countering you and you're sick of it, because you don't get a chance to practice and then your coach doesn't say anything about it, then stop giving up the outside position. And this includes those people we talked about at half-ass turn. So they're giving up the outside position to Tani Itoshi and foot sweeps. Oops, sorry. So just stop fighting for the inside. If you get the inside, you got to move and attack them. And don't let them out on the outside, because if I have the inside grips, you have the outside, you can circle this way. So you got to make sure you don't do that. And then when you do your throws, make sure you have the outside position so they can't go to the back. Like an overhook is a good example, right? If I have the overhook, it's really hard for you to go to the outside.
You get an overhook or you get a good...
It's harder. It's harder.
Well, I think it's better you get a good underhook, because then they're forced to come inside to you.
I mean, compared to the gi, within the gi, in the gi, not no gi.
Sorry, I'm thinking of something else right now. Okay.
Because I think with the overhook like this,
now he's grabbing me now, people. He's assaulting me now, people.
But the overhook, you can't get behind this bicep I have right here. So that's what I'm saying. But with the underhook, you can slip under. Right. So similar idea with the gi. If I have the lapel, you can circle around me. At least you can get your hips and your legs behind me. Right. So that's something I'm experimenting on. I think it makes some sense. If I have the outside, I can turn you easier. But the inside, I dictate the distance between us easier. But outside, you can change the angles. So, yeah, I try that out. Let me know how it is. Again, it's not tested. This is just my theory.
It's a theory for now. But yeah, it's just...
Or just talk to the guy. Just be like, hey, can you stop countering me?
Can you please just do some proper judo? No, man, if you can't beat me, that's your fault, all right? That's your problem. You will come across that sometimes. You will come across that. But... yeah, if you're worried about someone that keeps on countering you, the one thing I will say is that you need to attack 110%. All right? Don't give them a chance to counter you.
I think, also some people will be like, well, it only worked because you're just countering me. But, like, you also should probably throw better. Usually it's because the usual mistakes is because you're going into the person instead of pulling them off. Or you didn't break their structure, alignment before you attacked. Or you're not pulling and turning enough. That's yeah.
Well, it's one of my things. Where
it's hard to diagnose without seeing.
It's like in my class, I always talk about how like people. Well, the biggest thing, is that someone tries to do ippon so nage to somebody. Easy counter is uranage. Pick somebody up and scare them. You know. Well, if their structure, like you would say, their kazushi isn't broken, and they're not leaning forward, of course they're unbalanced still. You're going into the person. So that means you got to dedicate 110% to pulling them to you. You need to bring that body and arm all the way across so that then when you turn, they're landing on your back, not you curling yourself into them so that they can throw you backwards. That's the whole thing about being committed to your throws and getting more confidence in your throws. And you're not going to gain confidence. I'm not going to say you're not going to gain confidence if you keep getting countered by people. All right?
One other thing I do, and this is not specific, I don't do it because of getting countered. I do it because of people Tani Itoshi me all the time. If I know someone's going to Tani Itoshi me all the time, then my number one suggestion is to not turn their back towards that person at all, ever. I would just focus on foot sweeps and osotogari and all that kind of stuff, right? The other thing you can do is you just like, oh, this guy, I know he counters. I'm going to work on sacrifice throws, drop throws.
Oh, yeah.
Then that kind of stops the countering from happening in the randori setting, right? And that for you, it's productive because you can start working on your tomoe nage, sotomaki komi, drop stand nage, like all that kind of stuff. You can start working on that just for that guy. Then when you go to someone else, you know that's not like them, then you go back to your regular game, right? So that's another option you can throw out there. Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to talk about counters at all?
No, I think that's good. We talked about keeping the episodes short, so yeah.
So with that, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me at _Juan on Instagram. You can follow Anthony at Anthony's Guild on Instagram. You can follow Tatami Talk itself on Instagram at Tatami Talk. You can also follow us on Threads at Tatami Talk. If you guys have any questions, things you want to go through, videos you guys want us to watch, anything sent to us, we accept everything at tatamitalk@gmail.com. Is that all of them?
Yeah, Beehive soon. I was going to do it today, but I felt sick, so I did.
The new Queen Bee right here, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's it then, okay?
Yep.
Hopefully you see some of you guys wearing nationals. Always come and say hi to us at tournaments, okay? Don't be like embarrassed or nothing.
Yeah.
We saw two great fans of the show at the Fight for the Cure. It was great seeing you guys. It's always nice to know if people are listening to us and us talking into the ether, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So with that, don't forget to
attack Juan's bad side at Winter Nationals. I don't know if I'm going to censor it out yet. And slap him in. Yeah.